Hey guys, TheKaijudoChannel here with Japanese card of the week, except this time I'm not going to really focus on just one Japanese card that I have. I'm going to talk about, a category of cards that the English game just did not get, and I found that it's a pretty interesting concept. This week we're going to go over cross gears. This right here is a cross gear card. So you could easily tell on the side of the card it has some sort of like triangular diamond shape thing on the side, and that denotes that it's a cross gear card. So the way it works is it's pretty much like an equip card. So if you've played Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic, they have equip cards too. Well, this is Duel Master's version of equip card called cross gear. So you have to pay the mana cost to put it onto the field, but then you also have to pay the mana cost again to cross onto a creature. So you equip it to the creature and then it gets an effect. Some cards, they have effects where if it's not equipped, it does some sort of effect, and then when you equip it, it applies an effect to that creature or something. Things like that. I'm not going to talk about this one, because this one is, kind of a standard-ish one, but I'm going to talk about the best ones. I'm just going to go through the coolest ones from each of the civs, and I'm definitely going to have to start with water, because that one easily has the best one. The best cross gear in the game has to be Noble Enforcer. It's in the Water Civilization. It's a 4-drop cross gear, and it's pretty much anti-rush written all over it. Basically, you tap 4 mana to play that Noble Enforcer card, and when it's not crossed onto any creatures with 2,000 power or less, they cannot attack. So this card just screams anti-rush. Now, you have to get it out quickly against rush, obviously, and plus, later in the game, rush decks tend to have creatures with more than 2,000 power, but if you get it out there and you keep it there, and even control decks usually run low power creatures at the start and then they bring out their big guns later on. Well, you can play this to, control the game to your liking and then equip it to your big guy, whenever you want, and then now they can attack, but when you equip it onto a creature, that creature cannot be blocked or attacked by creatures with 2,000 power or less. So those teeny blockers or whatever, they can't get in the way of this big creature that you're crossing to, but then again, they could be blocked by, bigger things. So this next one is from the Fire Civ, and it actually got limited to 1 alongside its main creature that got inspired by. So this card is Bajula Soul. So if you know Bajula, so Uber Dragon Bajula is this evolution. Basically, whenever it attacks, you destroy 2 cards in your opponent's mana zone. Now, Bajula Soul is pretty much Uber Dragon Bajula in a cross gear. So you have to pay 5 to play it, and then 5 to cross it, and that cross creature, it gets 2,000 power, and it breaks an additional shield, and on each one of its attacks, it destroys 2 of your opponent's mana. So I think this card alongside Uber Dragon Bajula got a little bit crazy and a bit too much mana destruction, so both those cards hit the list and now they're both at 1. So that's a pretty crazy card, and I can understand why I got limited to 1, both of those cards. Now we go on to the Light Civ. This card's called Patrial Flame. So it's a 3-drop cross gear, and when you cross it to a creature, basically the cross creature cannot be chosen. So it's pretty much a Petrova effect onto any creature you want that you cross onto it. So, they can't Terror Pit it, they can't attack it. The only way they could get rid of it is if they, use some sort of card that destroys, many creatures at once. So pretty much that card cannot be targeted for any kind of, effect or attack. And that's pretty cool. I like that card a lot. Now for the Darkness Civilization, this one's a pretty cool one, Immortal Blade. So kind of like Noble Enforcer, you have an option of what you really want to do with it. So when it's not crossed with any creatures, all the creatures in the battle zone get Slayer. So that's pretty ridiculous. Everything destroys everything, and there's nothing you could do about it. So if you have one of your creatures tapped, everything's dying. Let's just put it that way. Now, if you cross it to a creature, every time that creature attacks, you can pretty much do a Dark Reversal effect and get a creature from your graveyard into your hand. So that's always nice, but you kind of have to have, a lot of creatures in your graveyard for it to be useful if you want to get back creatures, every time you attack with it. But either way, pretty interesting card. I like the whole every creature gets Slayer. That's just crazy. It's madness. Now the last one here is actually quite interesting. So this is from the Nature Civilization. It's a 4-drop card called Octillion Force. Now, I don't know if this is the only cross gear, but this one has Shield Trigger. So it is a Shield Trigger cross gear card. And basically how it works is if you get that in your shields and they attack it, and you pretty much use it, and you get to cross it to a creature at the same time. So you're pretty much getting an 8-cost card for free if it's in your shield triggers and you get it. So what this does is when you cross it to a creature, that creature gets Triple Breaker and Power Attacker 9000. Yeah. That creature is going to be over 9,000 for sure. And it breaks 3 shields. So, I mean, that's what Nature's all about. They're all about, power and shields. And, of course, mana excel as well. But they're really, really aggressive. And this card just screams awesome. But it'd be pretty hard to play without the shield trigger. I mean, not really. I mean, it's 4 to play it and then 4 to equip. So it's not that bad. It's kind of like Noble Enforcer in that sense. I mean, Bejeweled Soul is 5, so you have to pay 10 to cross it. But this one, it's only 8, and you even get a chance of it being in your shield, so it's pretty cool. You can make any creature just this crazy random burst of power out of nowhere, so I always like that. Really nice card. So that's it for cross gears. I really hope Kaijudo gets some sort of, cross gear equip kind of card. Those cards are always interesting to use, and, just with these 5 cards I mentioned, they all have pretty, different effects, and they're really, really cool. So, I'm looking forward to that. I sure hope they have some sort of equip in Kaijudo. It's going to be pretty awesome. But that's it, guys, for this week's Japanese card, or cards of the week in this case. And next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But tomorrow, stay tuned for a new top 10 Duel Masters cards. I'm going to be doing Fire this week. So that one's going to be a pretty tough one as well. But I'm already getting some ideas. And if you want to, share some ideas before I get that video out, feel free to, hit me up with a message or go in the comment section below. Mention your favorite Fire cards or Fire cards that you think should be in the top 10, stuff like that. I'm always interested to see what you guys think. So have a nice day, guys. This is TheKaijudoChannel signing off. See you later, guys.